What is up, cool cats of the interwebs? It is your girl Haley back at it again with another episode of the pre-review crew. This time for February and March of 2026. Now, before we get into the games, let me introduce to you the rest of the crew. We have Brennan,
What's up? Oh, that was loud. Sorry.
and we have Mike.
What's up?
So, we are going to kick it back to February and talk about those games briefly, and then we'll hop into the month of March, which is definitely a hell of a lot more exciting than February. So, we'll kick it back to Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined. I think I called it Remastered last time. It's Reimagined, my bad. JRPG turn based, developed by Hex Drive Inc. and published by Square Enix, coming out on Nintendo Switch, PS5, PC, February 5th, currently sitting at an 84 top critic average with 92% of critics recommending.
So this was my game that I picked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people. The sentiment is that I think that like the fact that it was reimagined, like the reimagining is good. You know how it looks, how it sounds, how it plays is good. Um, some people complain that it didn't really innovate too much, like they didn't really add much else, which is kind of fine. Like I don't know, that's such a contentious point in my opinion. Like if you're gonna do a reimagining, like a proper, not like even a remake, but just like remastering it, like to the nth degree, not adding stuff, whatever. I'd rather it be untouched, but that's just me. I think that a lot of people like scoring it the way it does, or it scored the way it is because of Dragon Quest Seven itself. Um, for those who don't know, and I barely know this, but in the original version, which I believe was on the SNES, don't quote me on that. Um, whatever original um fucking version it was, you don't fight a slime for the first like 3 hours. Like you're really just running around doing nothing for the first like 2 or 3 hours straight up. So a lot of people really like Dragon Quest Seven, but they do. I think it's kind of unanimously agreed upon that the beginning's pacing is kind of all over the place. But if you can get past that, it's good. I have heard that it does change the pace a bit. I can't tell you exactly how much. I'm sure that you probably fight a slime in the first hour, maybe, as opposed to 3 hours. Hard to say. Um, but yeah, I think that just a lot of people probably like if you liked Dragon Quest Seven and you see this, you're probably like, oh, this is great. But if you like me haven't played Dragon Quest Seven, this would probably be the definitive edition to play. But I don't know. I feel like I just as much as I know about Seven, I feel like I would kind of back off of it. I would play another one first. I would play like five first. I know the Dragon Quest Five. Everyone loves that one. Or 11. I don't know if I would jump into seven first, but seven's probably definitely up there. It's only the upper half, I guess, of better Dragon Quest games. But I don't know. Again, just the prospect of not being able to fight a slime for the first 3 hours is kind of like,
Yeah, looking at this, I'm looking at the reviews, and a lot of people are saying this is actually really friendly for people who are new to the series and new to just the game in general. Um, just because of some of the mechanics that they changed around, some of the what do you call them, quality of life improvements that they made. So I mean, if you ever want to get into a solid JRPG series, from what I'm reading, this is one of the games to like pick up.
See, and that's what I expect in a like when you call something reimagined. Like I expect there to be quality or life improvements, the things that people have complained about in the past, like those things to be changed. I don't expect any like plot changes, but mainly just like mechanics, graphics, things like that. Like it would be nice to see like some new like story stuff in there, but I more so just want overall game improvements. When I think of like something like a remaster, I think of them just like bringing it to the latest generation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
So, and it's great to hear that this one is beginner friendly because you have a lot of these series that are have been going on for years, and you have people nowadays who are like, "Well, where do I start?" So, it's great to have something that beginners can just easily hop into and not have to go back 6 generations and 7 video games and basically play from the beginning just to get caught up.
Yeah, I mean, not so much Dragon Quest Seven reimagined, but lately I've been looking at um, the Dragon Quest Three HD remake and the Dragon Quest One and Two HD remake. I feel like those are like quintessentially classic games that it's going to be really difficult to go back, especially the NES. I'm sorry, I really have a hard time playing NES games. The Super Nintendo is beautiful, love it. I think that there's nothing wrong with that in this day and age. But the NES itself, to me, looking at the original Final Fantasy is so difficult. Where I'm really happy that they like embrace that 2.5D. I know that Dragon Quest 7 is nothing like that, but just I don't know. But I think that they're on the right path, bringing these beloved favorites back and making them more accessible for people. You know, because it is difficult to play even like a PS1 because Dragon Quest 7 originally came out on PS1. I was wrong about the SNES. Um, Not everyone has a PS1 lying around. You know, um, so I think that this is giving people a legitimate way to play a classic without an emulator. I think is a smart move. You know, it's I would I'm way more tempted to pick something like this up as opposed to fiddling with a PS1 emulator.
Well, not everybody like knows how to finagle an emulator, what even an emulator is, and not everybody wants to do it.
It's also very true, very fair.
Yeah, yeah. I hate having to mess with emulators sometimes.
So, like, I think this is just, in my opinion, it's easier for just like the masses to be able to get their hands on. Um, and yeah, I think doing reimagines every once in a while is a great thing to bring those old games back that a lot of people love. Does every game deserve it? Of course not. But if it was popular enough, definitely do it. I mean, look at God of War. Like, look how popular the 2018 game was. Ragnarok was super popular. Now they have the TV show coming out. Now they're doing a whole other collection. Like, it's great to see, especially because like those games came out years ago. So, yeah. Next game we're going to talk about is Love Eternal. That's a psychological horror platformer developed by Brika Games and published by Yes Bird Games. Came out on Switch, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S and X on February 19th. Open critics sitting at a 71 top critic average with 50% of critics recommending. Um, I thought this was going to be a little bit better. I'm not going to lie. Okay, scores have gotten better since I wrote those down. 79 top critic average, 60% of critics recommending. Still not great. Um,
Mm. For what it is, it's decent.
yeah, that's basically what everyone's saying. Um, it's gorgeous, but the gameplay is just meh. which makes me kind of sad because I really wanted to pick this up.
Yeah, this like it looked really unique. And it seems like people either like really like it, because a lot of scores are the scores here are all kind of all over the place. I mean, this one, 9.5 out of 10, 5 out of 5. But then you got a 5 out of 10, and it's like, ooh. Um, I feel like this is really gonna be like a love it or hate it sort of thing. I think that some people do like the puzzles and they don't like the narrative, but then there are other people that really like the narrative but think that the gameplay is boring. It's very strange.
Honestly, I could see this becoming a cult classic in a few years. Just looking, like you said, with the scores being all over the place, that the way that they are, you know, 10 years down the line, I can imagine people being like, "Oh, Love Eternal, yeah, I remember the game."
And that's what I kind of said last episode was like the people who like these types of games are going to get it. The girls who get it, and the girls who don't just don't. And that's the way this game is. The ones who like platformers and can understand that deep, gritty story are going to understand it. And those who don't like platformers and maybe just aren't in tune with weird horror aren't going to get it. And that's fine. Again, this ain't going for Game of the Year. This isn't getting awards. Probably not. Would be nice though. But I still think it's cool. I do still want to play it, even if it's fucking hard and I suck and then I have to watch walkthrough. Um, but I just thought it was neat. Like, we love a good indie game.
Yeah, especially because indie's just been killing it lately.
Yo, indie's been like insane. There are so many fun indie games out there. There's one that recently came out or is coming out about how you and your friend have to hide a dead body.
I think I've seen this one.
Like, and I've been playing
Is
so
that a
much. What?
is that a video game or is that an average Wednesday for you?
Both.
That's great.
I
The
mean,
video game's based off our average Wednesday.
yeah, why not?
Sorry for cutting you off.
Now the FBI's on me, guys. I think I gotta go. Um, and like fucking comic book store simulator. I don't really know if that's indie or not, but like I've been playing so much of that. Fucking content warning. Love content warning. Have to get back into peak. Um, crime scene cleaner. Yo, I love crime scene cleaner. You just clean up crime scenes. Um, Emily's been playing Heartopia, which isn't indie. It's also a mobile game made by like a Chinese company. But like we've just been playing a lot of like really cool out there games, and I love highlighting smaller games that might not be talked about a lot, even though we get like 6 listeners. Hi everybody at work. Um so yeah, I thought it was cool.
And that's kind of why I wanted this game to do good, was just because, like I said, the indie scene's really blowing up, and it's nice to see creativity and people taking chances. So it's I'm glad it is getting some good scores, and it's going to get a little bit of attention because of that. But it's just right now, I just think, like you said, indie is killing it, and I kind of want to see what people can come up with.
And the developer for that game also makes games on, I don't know how you fucking pronounce it, but I call it itch.io. Um they put games on there, and I think this is like their first like big game. I could be wrong, but I think this is their first big game. Um so to see them go from like small sort of like pay what you want games to something that's big like this, I think that's really cool. And I do hope they win something. Will it? Probably not. But if they do, good on them. And lastly, for February, we are talking of Tales of Berseria Remastered. It's a roleplay action game developed by DAG Inc. and published by Bandai Namco. Came out on Switch, PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X on the 27th. Currently, it's sitting at an 80 top critic average with 80% of critics recommending.
So I expected these kind of scores. I played the original Terra. When did this game first come out? Like years ago. And I enjoyed it. It had its faults, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So when they said they were remastering it, I don't know if they remastered this one. There's so many other better Tales games to remaster, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I expected to get eights, nines. There's some sevens, 6.5s here and there. Just because I wouldn't call it the most friendliest game to get into if you've never played a Tales game, but it's still, it's nice to see that it holds up to what it was years ago.
Can
Yeah, I
you?
keep. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Was it like I don't know? I keep some of these reviews are saying that it's like it's remastered, but just like a little bit. Like it's one that says hold on, let me find it exactly. Digital Chumps said on the PlayStation 5 at least. Okay, Tales of Berseria feels less like a traditional remaster and more like a port. Ooh. I don't know. Part of me is like, I wonder if that's why some of these scores are getting hit because,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I know the goal for this was to do better graphics and to change some quality of life.
Okay. Well, you know what? Honestly, I mean, I guess it depends on the quality of life, like what kind of features you would get for that. But maybe it's different on PC at least, like in terms of remaster, like graphical quality.
Yeah, there's some better. I wouldn't say it's like a huge difference, but I mean there is some nice, little things that they changed here and there.
Hmm,
It's also
okay.
just a great way to get this game because is the original still
So
available?
it
Yeah,
looks
because
like.
like the original. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna say the original came out in what, 2016? It looks like.
Yeah, 2017.
Okay, so like 10 years ago, like the graphics weren't bad, but they weren't great.
Plus, the remaster is actually cheaper than the original right now.
That's insane. But also, the original came out on the PS4, so
Yeah,
there's not much difference.
that's how I played it. Was the on the PS4
I want an explanation as to why Velvet um isn't wearing clothes.
because I knew their market.
This She's in tatters. She's literally in That's not considered clothing. Her titties are just. Can I say titties on YouTube? I said titties on YouTube. Her titties are out.
Like I said, they knew their demographic.
Well, I just find it funny because, like, she's the only one who's dressed like that, and that's the main character, and everybody else is just like, I have a little dress on down to my knees, and I look so innocent and cute. And then she's just like, I'm
Bro,
Bayonetta's granddaughter. Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
Ugh.
sometimes you just gotta let them hang out there.
Anyway, we're trying to stay family friendly. We're going to kick it over to March. Speaking of family friendly, we are going to play.
Yay!
We're going to play. Yeah, we're going to play and talk about
Oh, nice.
Pokemon Poke. Poke. Is it Pokopia?
Pokopia.
There we go. It's a life sim. It's developed by Omega Force and published by Nintendo, coming out on the Switch 2 on March 5th.
It's Animal Crossing, but Pokemon.
I hate it.
That's like the easiest way to describe this game. Animal Crossing, but Pokemon. Um, it's yeah, you get your own little island, and you can build it. You play as a Ditto, who's living like after the age of humans, like humans are gone. So the Ditto's able to just turn into different Pokemon, and when it turns into different Pokemon, it can do different things. Like if when you turn to a Bulbasaur, you can make grass grow for other Pokemon to show up and stuff. So I picked it because I love Pokemon to a fault, and it just looks really really cute. Like sometimes I just want to sit down and play something cute. That's what this looks like. Just something cute.
This does look really cute. I watched I haven't seen a lot. Oh my god, the Dragonite transformation is hilarious. Um I watched someone on YouTube do like a preview. Um and I think it was like Skill Up or something. And he was saying how like he doesn't normally play like these kinds of games like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing or anything, but he said that like he was, when his time was up playing at the preview or whatever, he was like he wanted to play more. So I feel like I've just heard nothing but good things about people that have already had their hands on this game so far, which is really, really funny.
It's another Switch 2 exclusive. I've been talking to friends who've been saying the Switch 2 doesn't have enough exclusives yet, so it's like this is another nice little game to pick up if you got a Switch 2.
I think my only question is like how much content is there really? Because one of the reasons why I put Animal Crossing so down so quickly is because I did my cabin, I got everything I wanted, friended the people that I wanted, then I was like, okay, what do I do after this?
Oh,
That's just when you start building more of your island, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know. That's always been the problem with Animal Crossing. Like, there's no way for you to, at least like as far as I understand, especially like with New Leaf. I don't know if in New Leaf you could ever really quote beat the game like you kind of could with New Horizons. With New Horizons, there was like oh, get a 5-star rating on your island or whatever. But in New Leaf, I don't remember if there was one. And then even in like the original Animal Crossing, it was like really all you did was just you really couldn't beat the original Animal Crossing. It was just like you just keep playing it. Um and like what by getting the biggest house or whatever. Like that was the whole point, I guess. What I'm trying to say is like you made your own end goal, right? Like you chose when to keep playing and when to stop. So it's like I feel like this will be the same thing. I can't imagine that there's going to be like an end to this.
I completely get that, but I think I like farming sims with plot, if that makes sense. I like having quests and like goals to achieve, but also kind of just wandering around, which I think is why I like Dreamlight Valley so much and Hello Kitty Animal Crossing so much is because they're cute simulators, but they still have a plot and things for me to sort of follow, and it's not just like, okay, we'll go do whatever you want.
Yeah, I hear you.
But that's just me. But yeah, this is like really cute. I like that you can become a that you're a Ditto and you can transform into a human. That's so cute. Oh jeez.
I wish I could turn into a Ditto.
Honestly, I've been seeing a lot of I've been getting like a lot of Pokemon trading card like events on my TikTok, like people at these events who have tables and watching them like trade cards and like give cards to kids and stuff like that. And I was talking to Charlie and I was like, oh, maybe I should start collecting Pokemon. And Charlie's like, yes, do it. And now I'm just like, do I get into this and just strictly collect Ditto cards?
I mean,
Yes.
that's what some people do is they collect just like one certain Pokemon.
Yeah, some of those people do that, and then like some people are doing like the master sets and stuff like that. But Ditto is just I just love the face.
That's why my wife loves Clodsire. Just that derpy face that it has.
It's so cute. Oh my god.
But
Okay, I gotta stop staring at this game.
I was just about to say, I mean, uh, like Brennan said, a lot of people are saying a lot of good things about this game. So I guess if you're tired of Animal Crossing and you want to be a Ditto, because I know that's a life goal that so many people have, um, then yeah, this is the game.
I know. I will say I'm surprised this took this long to come out.
Yeah, this is an idea that like kind of makes sense.
Like in the realm of Pokemon, like I would have assumed that they would have had some sort of. I mean, and like when you sort of think about it, like the Pokemon games are in a stretch kind of like a sim, but like the farming aspect and stuff like that, like I expected that like a hell of a lot sooner. I do think it's interesting that they're doing this like after the humans are gone, but I think that's cuter than you enslaving Pokemon to work on your farm. Just say.
We don't need PETA to be mad at Pokemon again.
They're always mad. They can stay mad. Um but speaking of fights, I don't want to
Oh,
stay on this game too long because we did speak about it, but 1348 X Voto is coming out on March 12th. Now, we did talk about this last episode in our segment of games that we were excited for. This was my pick. I decided to toss this in there since it was coming out so soon. And I am still very much looking forward to it. Still don't know what to expect. I want to go in blind, but I am very much still excited for this game.
I love dark fantasy, so this is kind of like up my alley.
I hope they kiss at the end.
Oh, they will.
They better. Not buying that game for nothing. Anyway, last game we're going to talk about is Monster Hunter Stories 3. It's a JRPG developed and published by Capcom, coming out on Switch, PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X on March 13th.
Yeah, I picked this. I've never played a Monster Hunter Stories game before, but I've been seeing a lot of preview content about this, and it just looks really interesting. It's like Monster Hunter, but you can also tame them a bit. I think the combat, it's more turn-based combat. I believe it's definitely more turn-based than it is like actual, genuine Monster Hunter. But there's some level of like taming them too, which is kind of interesting. And like you can ride them around, like you can ride like a Rathalos, and I think that's just really cool. And I feel like this game is what I wanted Pokemon Violet to look like. Which obviously it's not gonna, because that was running on the Switch. This is running on a billion different platforms, but just idealistically, I think that this is what I was imagining. Um, it looks cool. I can't imagine that the story is gonna be any good. Like, it's Monster Hunter games are notoriously like there's just no story at all. But I haven't played the stories. That's funny. That's funny that it's literally called Monster Hunter Stories, and I'm like, I wonder if the narrative's going to be any good. I've never played any of the other ones. I've always kind of wanted to look into them. I was curious because I'm just a fan of Monster Hunter in general. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for this, and I hope it does well.
Yeah, I'm kind of also curious about this just because, like you, I've only played the actual like main Monster Hunter games. I've heard of stories before, but I've never played them. That's where my brother's thing. Like he loves Monster Hunter. He plays the stories games. But I mean, if it's got some of that good Monster Hunter charm, I'm down to play this.
Yeah, it's I don't know. A lot of people that I've seen so far that have gotten their hands on it have said it's pretty good. I think it's almost unanimously agreed that it's better than the second one too, which is good. Because like I was looking at the second one and it just like looks art style wise, I think it just looks different. So this is seems like a really big step up for the series, and hopefully hopefully this is the one that kind of separates itself in terms of like the spin-offs, right? Like um I don't know. I feel like I mean like Monster Hunter Wilds came out like this time last year, I think. And I don't know if I've ever fallen off of a Monster Hunter game as fast as I did Wilds. Usually like you wait for an expansion or something like Iceborne or Sunbreak or whatever. And there hasn't really been anything like that for Wilds. I think there is something eventually coming. I'm not sure about that. I vaguely remember it, but I might be misremembering that. So having all I'm saying is that to have a good spin-off series in between mainline releases is solid. And I say the same thing about the Pokemon, Picopia or whatever. It's like it's not quite the mainline game, right? It's not even remotely close, but it is still the IP and it's something to hold you over until the mainline release. Which obviously this next one's not going to come out for forever, but yeah. I just want to get a Nargacuga. If you could tame a Nargacuga, it was 10 out of 10 game. That's great. I don't think it's going to happen though.
I guess my whole thing, Brennan didn't. Oh, did I say the three? I don't know if I said the three. It's called Monster Hunter Stories 3. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so what's the stories? Like, how is this different from what is considered mainline?
Um, I believe it's turn-based. Like right
Yeah.
off the bat, the mainline games are ARPGs, right? And this is turn-based. So that's like the first thing. And then the other thing is that you can tame some of the monsters and help them fight with you. So like you essentially make your own like JRPG party of monsters, or like one or two of them. I think it's maybe just one. It's like one at a time. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really watched as much gameplay, like moment to moment gameplay, as I've heard just people talking about it. So it's really, I wish I could say for certain. Um, this is just me not knowing what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's videos about it, but there is some level of like monster taming. There's a lot of like monster breeding and stuff too. I know that like similar to Pokemon, but just like way more in depth breeding between different monsters and trying to you know get the ultimate egg stat combination or whatever. It's very different from the mainline games. And this also, it seems to have more of a plot. I can't tell you exactly what the plot is about. I think like Monster Hunter 2, there was like a special Rathalos that you like hatched and like you were best friends with or something. Um, that like never happens in any of the Monster Hunter games. In Monster Hunter Wild, they've tried to add a bit of story. Like they always try to add a bit of story, but it always ends up being like, oh my god, the ecosystem's screwed. Oh no, oh there's a big monster who screwed up the ecosystem. We gotta kill him, and then they kill him. It's like okay, everything's cool again. This actually seems Monster Hunter Stories 3 seems to have more of just a not monster people versus monster story. It seems like there's more people versus people story, at least from the some of the cutscenes that I've seen. It's different somehow.
Would you say that the Monster Hunter games are more like open world and like what am I trying to say? Like multiplayer, and this was more of like a solo single player experience?
As far as I understand, yeah. Um, the Monster Hunter games are very much geared towards multiplayer play. Um, I wouldn't so much say open world. Wilds kind of. I would say that Wilds is kind of open world, but that's new for Wilds. In the past, Monster Hunter games, there's always been like a hub area, and then from there you go to specific levels. Whereas I think that this Monster Hunter Stories 3, I think that that one's more open world because I've seen gameplay of people like riding on top of a oh my god, I forget the name of it. Oh, oh my god, I can't remember that. It's a little electric rat guy, not Pikachu. Um, there's like a I can't remember. Anyway, this person was like switching between three different monsters just in terms of traversal. Like, so I think it's more geared to be an open world game with exploration because again, I was watching some guy fly around on a Rathalos, a big dragon. Um, so yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily say that the mainline Monster Hunter games are open world. Even like Wilds, for the most part, like is, but it kind of isn't. You know?
It's more like you just choose an area and you can explore that area.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so stories is more like a sort of like a different everything. Like it's set in the universe, but everything about it is different. The gameplay is different. What you can do in the game is different, and this is more of like a solo thing rather than like a team-based thing or multiplayer thing. So like I completely get that, and I think that's a smart decision with a game like this to sort of have those two different games because your game isn't going to appeal to everyone. So I think this is a nice way to sort of pull that other audience that they might not normally get into the world to still sell their IP.
Mhm.
Do
yeah,
I know
totally.
anything about Monster Hunter? Absolutely not.
Well, this might be your chance. If I think that the other thing too is that Monster Hunter games might be a little bit daunting for people because it's just an ARPG. It's really just a boss fight gauntlet. Not every That's not everyone's cup of tea, right? Whereas if you're interested in the Monster Hunter, but you can never really play the mainline games, I think that this is a nice step in that direction um, because it's not really so dependent on second by second frame perfect, you know, great sword maneuvers where if you don't do the if you don't pull back on the trigger in the right way and you don't get the third charge up and then you hit 800 damage instead of 18 billion, which is the most goddamn satisfying thing of all time. Holy shit, playing
It
great
is.
is the greatest thing ever. It's like I cannot tell you the level of satisfaction I get from playing greatsword. It's amazing.
This is also if you want to know like the Monster Hunter world. This is a really good one to pick up. Just to get kind of a background of what's actually going on in the universe.
Yeah,
Like I don't know how um the multiplayer like the mainline games play with the multiplayer aspect, but I do find that some like multiplayer games, especially if they want you to be multiplayer and you're playing solo, those can be a bit daunting because if I'm playing a game and I want to play by myself, don't force me to play with other people. Again, I don't know if that situation counts to the mainline games, but if it does, I think this is great for those people that just want to play solo.
you don't necessarily, you're never like forced to. Um, you can play, I think, as far as I understand, you can play pretty much every single Monster Hunter game completely single player. It's a bit it's a bit harder, I guess. Not like harder, but it takes more like
It's gonna be
I don't
like
know how
more
to
grindy, basically.
like
It's a little
yes,
more skill.
yeah, yeah, because like when you have two people, right? When you have two people, the monster's aggression can get split in half, right? Whereas if you're just playing single player, the monster's on you the entire time, and that's why the most Modern Hunter games they give you like the little Palico guy. So like even when you're solo, the Palico will draw some aggro for you, but it's not as much and it's not as well coordinated as a second entire human being, right? Um, and I think that there's like some level of for me personally, I always think Monster Hunter is more fun with other people, but you can play single player, and I've loved playing single player too. It's just really fun to get into certain shenanigans with your friends. You know, having like four dual blade users just Beyblade spin all over the place is hilarious.
It's always fun with the homies.
Yeah, right. Like everyone putting down bombs and then waiting for like the one hammer guy to come, and then he fucks it up, and then everyone laughs at him. It's a great time.
So, technically, this would be the end of the episode, but there's two things I want to discuss. Bum, bum, bum. Announce it as Haley's Spectacular Secret Segment. First of all, there was a game that came out this month that we didn't talk about. That, honestly, I thought that we would talk. Well, technically, it came out last month. That I thought we would talk about, but we didn't talk about. That is Resident Evil Requiem. Um, of course, big game. Um, just wanted to see if you guys had any opinions on it.
Leon's old.
He's hot.
He's old.
He's hot.
Homie's been in this series for what, like 30 years now?
He's
Let him
still
retire.
kicking.
Just let him retire, man.
Listen, I think he could have got out of the business if he wanted to, but he's like, ain't no way.
Just when I'm out, think I'm out, they pull me back in.
I
Come on.
was 2 days from retirement. Yeah, I have no
Basically,
thoughts.
yeah.
I have no thoughts about Resident Evil. I never will. I never have.
Brennan
I
doesn't
hope
like
it's
horror
good.
games.
Yeah, no, Resident Evil's not my thing. I'm sorry.
I've been watching gameplay at work while I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, and the women around me are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there was just a jump scare. So sorry."
Are you watching someone? Are you playing it, or are you watching somebody play it?
I'm
Or
watching somebody play it.
oh, that's hilarious.
Well, and you can toggle between first person point of view and third person. So I watch the Rad Brad like always, and he's playing in third person, and I've been watching Dan play in first person, and I definitely prefer. I mean, I'm a lover for third person point of view, um, but I definitely think it's scarier in first person because holy shit, those fucking zombies are in your face. But holy shit, it's like a narrow hallways. You're in like a medical facility, and all of a sudden you go around a corner and there's fucking six zombies staring at you, and you're like,
Ugh.
exactly like that. And then lastly, I just want to I sent this a while back. Um, there was a post on Reddit about somebody being kicked off a review for Resident Evil and that they were replaced with AI. I don't specifically want to talk about that, but I do want to talk about AI being in the video game space, specifically when it comes to reviews, because that is what we do. Um, just so we're not sitting here all day talking about AI in video games, but specifically AI in video game reviews. And
Um, yeah, I don't think there's any place for it ever.
Neither do I.
I think, reviews are like it's difficult to give something, especially video games, like art in general, objective reviews, right? We have this stupid scaling system that never really means anything anyway. That's just fucking marketing, whatever. 9 out of 10. That's all just marketing, right? It doesn't really matter. But I think the review itself, a lot of it does depend on like the individual person's experience. That's why one person can give a game a 4 out of 10, and another person can give it a 9 out of 10, right? I don't know exactly what an AI adds to that at all. Like, I really just don't understand, um, and don't know why we need to just keep. I'm upset with, like, and I'm sure that you guys probably are too. I'm upset with the whole just AI in general. Just even the mentioning of it, I'm like, I fucking hate. Feel it, but sometimes I feel like an old man yelling at the clouds, right? But in this case, there's certain cases like this where I'm like, it has no place. Like, what's the fucking point? Why? Why? Like, what metric does that? It didn't play the game, right? The AI didn't play the game. How can it make an objective or a subjective review of it, right? I don't know. Unless I'm, misunderstanding the whole thing, but I really just don't see the point.
I just feel when it comes to just journalism in general, AI has no business being there. And that goes for video game journalism and doing reviews. Like, it just. Because it is to the point. I've been, for the websites I've worked for, I get emails. If you are found using AI, you will be fired.
Good. Like, you can't. I there's so many cases of oh, maybe not so many cases, but I remember there was a one thing a couple of years ago where I forget the guy's name. Mike, do you remember one thing where it was like the IGN, the guy who was writing IGN reviews, got caught stealing from like a whole bunch of people?
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of them was he. I think it was a Dead Cells review, and he stole it from Boomstick Gaming. And I still watch Boomstick Gaming to this day. Partially, it was originally out of like support for him, and then I was like, oh, this guy actually is like really good shit. But not that's kind of besides the point. But like it's people have stolen other people's opinions and experiences on video games, which makes absolutely no sense to me, right? So to add an AI on top of that, it didn't play the fucking game. How does it review something that it didn't play? I just don't understand. I would hope that you get fired, Mike, if you use AI at your job writing reviews. Like, that's a good thing. That's a good metric for me. That people care. Fuck. Oh my god, I just don't understand that. Writing a review would be one right. Helping you write something is one thing, right? But like creating an experience, explaining that experience is something completely different. Also, fuck you. If that's your job, writing reviews, you shouldn't have AI writing your shit for you. Oh, we get mad at human beings plagiarize other human beings. Why wouldn't we get mad at AI trying to fuck itself into existence? I hate this. I hate all. I'm sorry.
I think this is something we could ramble on about for a while.
oh yeah, and I brought it up because I saw that post and I was like, this is important. Like we're seeing AI in the mention of AI in everything now. And how and I feel like there's many different versions of AI and there's different ways that people are using it. And I feel like none of it is helpful or useful or anything under the sun because like you have how AI is being implemented now, and you have like take iRobot for example. Like when you say AI, what I think of is iRobot. Like actual artificial intelligence, robots that can move and speak, like Detroit Become Human. That is the type of I envision, not whatever the fuck is going on now. Like it is to the point where like um on Reddit I'm also in like teacher and professor subreddits, and there is a program, I think it's called Einstein, it could be named something else, that will actually log on to um like the kids like online schooling and complete the assignments for them.
Hmm.
And it's just like I don't, why are we making any of this? Like none of it is beneficial. I don't want AI writing reviews because one, again, it can't have an opinion. And if it does have an opinion, like it's either not biased or it's full of bias. Like there's no middle ground. And then if it does give you a review, where do you think it's getting that information from? It's pulling that information from other reviews. It didn't actually play the game. It doesn't actually know what it's talking about. So, why would you use AI in in a review? Like it makes zero sense. I think AI is, if we're making robots, I want robots. But I don't want whatever the fuck this is. Like it's just it's pushed so much now. Like it's pushed in Microsoft updates. It's pushed in like the big thing. Samsung just had a event for like their latest phone. Big push in AI there. And it's like take my work for example. Like I work in the automotive industry, and for a while they had an AI training robot. And it was an online program, and you can practice making phone calls and following the script of what to say, and the robot responds back to you.
Oh, that's weird. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah, neither do I.
But still, you have to guide the robot. You have to give it the script and what to say. And you have to like go through different objections with the robot and like train the robot to get it to do what you want, and still 9 times out of 10 it's not doing it right. Like there were ways that you could easily fuck it up and it just automatically hangs up on you. So it's like what's the point?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Like
Getting hung up on by the AI.
and like I that so far that is the only real way that we use AI at my work, or have used it, because honestly they stopped pushing it. um they do sometimes say use chat gpt on how to word things in layman's terms. That I kind of understand, especially when you're working with the general public about technical things like cars. Not everybody understands technical terms and why certain things are needed. So I can kind of understand that. Also, I think you should use critical thinking skills and try to piece it out yourself, but I digress. Um, but outside of that, thankfully, we aren't using AI in any other way. But it is just a matter of time before some company within the automotive industry comes out with something AI, whether it be in the cars. I mean, I don't know if you guys consider like Siri and stuff AI, but like that's technically in cars. Um, but yeah, it's just a matter of time.
I think we should nuke the planet.
I agree.
Just start over.
Yeah. So I think that's my biggest fear is just how is AI going to play out this year in the video game space? How are companies going to utilize it? What is the backlash? Because of course there's going to be backlash. You can't use AI without somebody like catching on and saying something about it. And you know that a lot of companies have been laying off workers because they're like, "Oh, well, we're going to start using AI. We're going to start using AI." There was one company, I forget who it was. They laid off workers because of AI, but then they hired everybody back. And it's like, well, yeah, AI can only go so fucking far. But within the video game space, I am curious to see what happens because it's going to be somewhere and it's going to be a big deal. And I'm kind of excited to sit there with my popcorn and watch everything explode. Which is like sad to say, but also like we know that the companies
Yeah.
are going to do something.
At this point.
Yeah, I think it is some sort of inevitability.
And especially like with video games, like using AI to make video games, like there's going to be that one person that does it and it's going to blow up.
Yeah, why pay a human to program things when you just get an AI bot to do it all for you?
Mm-mm-mm. But anyway, that is the end of this episode for February and March of the pre-review crew. Brief final thoughts if you guys have any last things that you would like to say.
Um. Uh. No.
Thanks, Brennan. Mike, you got anything?
Stay home. Don't go to school. Play video games.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, let's get out of here before we start endorsing more bad habits. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we will catch you back here next time. Goodbye.
Love you.
I don't think they love you yet.
They never will. They never do.
Yeah, sorry about that, brother.
That's okay.